with spatial database and maps. The case study of Malawi Housing Corporation, which is the institution I'm working with, and the case study area is Area 18 in Lilongwe, the capital city of Malawi. That's my presentation outline. I'll talk about the background, the problem statement, objectives, methodology, results and discussions, and the establishment of the spatial database, and finally the conclusion and the recommendations. Just a brief background. Malawi Housing Corporation is a statutory body that was established in 1964 under the Malawi Act, Chapter 32 of the laws of Malawi. The corporation is currently undergoing the process of migrating from analog to digital methods of spatial database as opposed to analog methods. The analog methods that has been used at the corporation has proved to be inefficient in data storage and retrieval as well as updating. The analog system involves hand drawing of maps and physical searching of survey data. The survey drawings were and are manually produced and updated. I'm saying were because some other maps we have them in analog formats, and the other section is using the digital methods, and the other sections are using the manual methods. The manual methods takes a longer period of time as compared to the digital methods. The comparison has been done when we tried to ask those people who are drawing them manually. They almost maybe take 4 hours to draw a map, but when someone is drawing the same map using the digital methods, they almost take less than an hour. The problems that we are also facing with this analog system is that we're keeping heaps of hard copies of map, and that has led to information loss, since the moment the original copy is lost, then there's nowhere else to get such kind of information. As a result, the corporation has adopted a hasty approach in dealing with issues instead of being dynamic. This, we find problems when a map has been lost and then we don't have a backup. We find ourselves in a situation whereby we don't have any information to produce the map. And the shortcoming of this process is that it delays the delivery of products and services. Just imagine someone has paid the corporation to get their lease of the land, and yet we found we don't have the information. This has created a very difficult situation for the corporation. The problem statement is that the Malawi Housing Corporation has lost survey records of land due to unavailability of an effective database. The delay of provision of products and service delivery at a certain point can be due to lack of an efficient database. So this project was aimed at developing a GIS-based spatial database to improve storage and retrieval as well as updating the survey data. The overall objective was to develop an GIS database, as already said, and the specific objectives were to create different layers that can be used in decision making when the data is overlaid, when the layers are overlaid, and to create attribute database with information from different sections for easy and quick retrieval, as well as updating information of data, and to develop links of different information for an interactive spatial database. That's the map, that's the analog map that I picked for Area 18, and this map was picked because it was produced manually long time ago in the 1990s. I corrected data from, the first one was the analog map, the 10 images which were downloaded, and I also had some ground control stations. Since the analog map was drawn using UTM, coordinates for rectifying the image were taken from the same map. Other information was corrected from different departments of the corporation. The methodology continuation, I had to create the spatial database in the art catalog, and then rectify the analog map, and then I digitized all the layers I wanted, like the plots, the contiguous properties, and also the points. And I did data integration and analysis, as I did not have to put the areas in the attribute tables. I just calculated the geometry when I digitized the points, so the eastings and northings could automatically come in the attribute table. The limitations I saw in this project was that The eastings and northings were a little bit different. The last three numbers before the decimal place is because maybe we had to project the map, the analog map, and maybe next time do the same. We just need to enter the coordinates in Excel and maybe just export them to ArcMap. And this is just showing you the way I was creating the database over there. And this is just showing you the layers I digitized in the project, in the table of contents. And this is showing you the attribute table. So this attribute table is not going to contain only the eastings and northings and the areas. We also have information from different departments. For a specific plot, they may have information if that plot is sold or not. And for a specific plot, they might also include another column whereby it's going to be stated the owner of the plot, or if there's an existing house, it's going to be stated there, so that when you want information, you don't go to different departments to collect it. At a click of a polygon, you will get all the information. This was the interactive map made. I also, through the DEM, I also managed to create the contours so that for the actors, they may know how they may plan to set up their buildings. And I also did hyperlinking, whereby for each plot, if you click a plot, because from this general map, the general cadastral map, there are so many plots. But for individual person who wants their leases, we only pick one polygon for them because that may be their plot. So we draw another diagram depicting only their plot. So I've created a hyperlink whereby if you click on the plot, you will get the corresponding diagram. So in summary, in establishing the database, I did data entry and updating the data and the map production. This is not like the final database. As the surveys are coming in, we'll be able to include more so that we have all the land that belongs to Malawi Housing Corporation and all the information.
Excellent. Good.
So the conclusion is that there is a delay in data retrieval in the delivery service at Malawi Housing Corporation due to ineffective storage of spatial data. And the recommendation I make that the corporation should support the GIS spatial database creation by making it a priority and supplying the needed equipment and personnel, because it will involve a lot, and then we need maybe engineers to contribute to the creation of the database. End of presentation. Thank you.